What's up everyone, this is the Anxiety and Depression Vlogs episode 21, and today before I start the episode, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who's been watching, because it means so much more than just a view to me when I make these videos, because ultimately I don't give how many views this channel gets. All I care about is that the one person watching gets benefit from it, because that one person might be thinking about committing suicide the next day, and yet if they see one of these videos and it helps them contemplate whether or not to do that, and then they decide not to, that is a win for me. And that is my ultimate goal with these videos, is to help you guys who are going through anxiety or depression to really get a different perspective of someone who has already been in your shoes and still currently is going through the same thing. It's important to realize that, something that came to my attention this week, at least, when I've been talking to some of my other friends who are currently going through this exact same thing, which is getting brain scans done, getting and talking to psychologists and doctors about their different needs of what they need to help themselves get better with this anxiety, this depression, this PTSD, this stress that's going on in their body. They're getting help, and it's been amazing to see my friends who are getting help and who are doing the right steps to get better. And so for those of you who are my friends, who are the ones that are actually doing something to improve their lives and improve their anxiety, improve their depression, this video is a thank you, because it means that you've really listened and you've really understood that when I say that I've been through hell, like, I'm being extremely authentic and I'm being extremely real with you guys. Like, we all have our different stories, and there are a ton of people that have gone through things way worse than me, but it doesn't mean what I've gone through should be neglected by me. And what I mean by that is that if you're going through something and someone tells you, oh no, just forget about it, you're not going through a hard time, there's a lot of other people going through much worse. Yeah, you're right, there are a lot of people going through much worse than you are, but it doesn't mean that you can neglect the problem of the things that are going on in your life that are bringing you down. So with that being said, for those of you who have depression, anxiety, and are currently taking medications, the one thing that's been on my mind this week is how, for those of you who are on medications, who are going through depression and anxiety, and who are on antidepressants, anti-anxiety, I understand the feeling and I understand the stigma behind it, and I know that society today doesn't really believe in accepting the fact that certain people have to take certain medications in order to feel the way that normal people should. And with that being said, taking medications is really what I wanted to get to the core of today, because I thought it was really important to discuss with you guys that the stigma on medication and the stigma on talking about what people think is so bad to do nowadays, which is be on a bunch of pills and be on a bunch of medications. But guess what? Without those medications, without those pills, it's not, your depression or your anxiety is not going to get better. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm not saying that I overdose on medications. I'm not saying that I abuse medications. I take it directly I take medications directly as prescribed, and that's what I'm talking about. For those who say that it's not good, I would agree that it's not good to take those medications more than is as prescribed. And when you take medications, if you are someone on medication or someone dealing with anxiety on antidepressants, anti-anxiety, it's okay that you're taking medications. Don't feel like just because some ignorant person says that it's not okay to take medicine because you should just stick to all natural substances. Well, guess what? The stuff in those antidepressants, those anti-anxiety that are specifically given to you based on your situation are substances that are approved by the FDA and are substances that are meant to help you. Now, I don't like, because being a person on medication for a very long time, I've heard it all. And I've heard that, you shouldn't have to take medication to be happy. You should just try this, try that, try this, try that. The thing with depression and anxiety is that if it's a chemical imbalance, if you are clinically depressed, if you are clinically anxious and have anxiety, high anxiety, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, you need medications to help you. Now, it's not a bad thing, is what I'm trying to say, is that if you need the medications to help you, do it, because it's the best thing that is going to help you with the most impact, is what I'm trying to say. Because you can do, like I've talked about in previous videos, that you can do the morning routine, you can do the finger tapping, you can do the counting, you can do everything that you can naturally to help your anxiety or depression, but when it comes down to the core of it, you're not going to fix the internal problem, which is the underlying chemical imbalance, which is known as depression or anxiety, or that is known as depression or anxiety. So the medications help with that. And just because some arrogant person doesn't like medications or thinks that medications are bad doesn't mean that it's bad to take them. It's bad to take them in excess, but it's not bad to take them as directed by a professional who knows about those specific medications, who is prescribing you those. So listen to your doctor, and if you are nervous about going on antidepressants, anti-anxiety, I would say yes, I was nervous when I started as well. I was extremely nervous because I didn't know what they would do to me. I didn't know how I would feel after a few days, after a month, after a year. I didn't know. I was unsure. And that's where the underlying fear comes from, of people taking any medications revolved in mental health, because they don't know what's going to happen. Now, I'm here to tell you guys in this video of what is going to happen when you take medications. Now, I'm not going to tell you that one medication is bad. All I'm going to say is that you might try a medication for the first time, right? And if it doesn't work, you might just get angry, and you might say, fuck this, the medication doesn't work. I'm just gonna go back to self-medicating. Well, that's all good and fine, but you never really explored your options. You never explored the second method of medications, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the 15th. I tried so many medications before I found the right one, and it was all worth it, because now that I have a set medication that works for me personally, I am able to now cope, and not only cope, but live a very, very high level of fulfillment with life. I have a very high fulfillment with life now, and I'm filled with energy, I'm filled with life, I'm filled with joy, and I'm not saying every day is perfect, but overall I'm filled with joy and thankfulness and gratitude. And it's not only because of the morning routine, it's not only because I drank water when I first woke up, it's not only because I read these books, it's not only because I wrote a book on how to cope with it, it's honestly because I take these medications that help me. And I'm not ashamed to say it, because there should be no stigma around it. Whoever thinks that you don't have to take medication to help you when it is clinically FDA proven to help people with X, Y, and Z disorder, then, that person is just ignorant. And I would say stick to your guns and stick to finding a medication that works, because trust me, there there is no better feeling when you find a medication that works, when you have been in the pit of like your lowest of lows for so long, that when you find a medication that works and then you wake up one day and you're like, shit, I haven't felt depressed or sad in a few weeks, and I just noticed that I'm a lot happier. When you make that realization, when you actually find the medications that work, it is life-changing, absolutely life-changing. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to say all these fancy words to make you get into medication. I'm just telling you my experience, and my experience with medications is that when you find the one that works, it is like, I can't even explain. It's the best feeling ever, because you've been waiting so long to feel something that you've never felt before, which most likely for those of you who have depression, have anxiety, have been going through this feeling for a very, very long time. And when you have that feeling for so long, your mind starts to believe that it's never, ever going to get better. But then all of a sudden, when you try that medication that works for you, your mind is blown and you're experiencing feelings of joy and bliss for no reason. Nothing's going on. No external sources are going on around you that are making you feel this way. You just woke up feeling happy. And that's what it's all about, is making yourself happy and making yourself feel great, making yourself feel the best that it can possibly be, to be the best that you can be. And I gotta tell you, if you already are on medications, don't give up, because trust me, it took me 1.5 years to find the medications that worked for me, but once I found them, it was life-changing. So don't give up. Keep on working with your doctor to get the right medications and get the best out of the medications that you're taking, because you're not looking for any extra bullshit to go on the side of what you're looking for, which is truthfully a medication that works and a medication that's effective and puts you in a very happy mood versus the mood that you were in before, which is a depressive and anxious state. So don't give up on finding medications, and once you find the medication, it might continue to change. So don't be afraid to change it up if it's not working after it's already worked for a certain amount of time. You're not going to just be on one medication your whole life. You might have to try 5 different medications throughout your entire lifetime to figure out what's going on, because your body is always changing. But the important thing is that you never give up. That's my message. Never give up. If I hadn't pulled through, and if I had just given up right there, and didn't stick out that whole year of figuring out what medications work for me, I wouldn't be here right now. And I'm just being raw and authentic with you guys. I wouldn't be here right now without the right medications, without God, without all the extra things that you can do to improve your life that I mentioned in the book, that I have told you guys through these videos. The morning routine, taking care of your body, and doing all the extra things that you need to do to put your body and your mind in the right place so that you can conquer the day with happiness and joy and bliss and feel fulfilled throughout your days, instead of just going throughout your days like a zombie where you're depressed about what's going to happen in the future. It's so much better when you don't give up. And usually the people that give up are usually the people that are one step away from success. And the people that don't give up have gotten there to that success. And I can truthfully, honestly say from my heart that I did not give up. And I have found a way that works for me to give me the best, most fulfilling life possible. And that's all I want for you guys. That's my biggest hope, my biggest dreams, is that whoever's watching this and needs that extra motivation, that extra help, don't give up. You are a hairline away from finding success. So don't give up. Keep working at your dreams. You're almost there.